The Polish table, as we call it, is a custom-made installation that's made purely for the tailor-made expectations of Poland. When it comes to describing the universal story of Poland, that might be pretty much understandable to each and every visitor coming from each and every country. So it's a universal international story. This Polish table is kind of a thing that we do when we want to invite our guests over to our houses, to our homes. Then we wine and dine them. We have chats, we share our stories, we make them feel as welcome as they might be. So this is the proper explanation of the idea behind it. And what we would like to do, we would like to invite our guests to not only stand by the table, but also to feel also welcome at the Polish Pavilion. So as you can see, there are different modules made of different raw materials. They're trying to be as creative as it can be. So the first one would be the glass module. It is made a little milky, a little shaded, a little foggy, but it still depicts the proper meadows when it comes to the foggy landscapes of Poland. So this was made by Agnieszka Bar, one of our world-renowned artists when it comes to the glassware. The other ones are pretty much the exemplification of how the process of making yachts in Poland, when it comes to Poland being one of the biggest manufacturers of yachts throughout the world. We have made it with Konrad shipyard, which is the second or the third biggest shipyard in Poland, and it just depicts you the proper process of creating the yacht itself. So starting from the structure and presenting different materials used to fit out the yachts. So this is presented by one of our biggest manufacturers when it comes to the porcelain and china in Poland, namely Bolesławiec, and it was made by two artisans that came specially for the presence of the Polish pavilion and the Polish table itself. So they just came with the idea of transforming the clay into a mosaic, and then they just hand painted it. So not only the raw materials, not only the transformation from clay to porcelain as a technology, but also the paintings and the drawings over there, they are all handmade, and they depict the Polish nature themselves. Then we have those aluminum alloy modules that are created by Pajab Space. It's the Polish company that's into the space industry, of course, and this alloy presents, of course, some different shapes when it comes to presenting the physical appearance of our country when it comes to the landscape of mountains. The blown copper and the blown steel, as mentioned previously, these are the special modules that are used using the dedicated technique by Oskar Zięta and his accomplices. So this is the one that depicts the Lower Silesia region, as well as just gives you the proper creativity inspiration when it comes to utilizing the copper itself. Last but not least, there are two modules created by Maciej Siuda. This is the technique called Inlay. So there are different parts, different kind of wood gathered throughout the whole Poland, because I believe that Maciej Siuda went through different landscapes trying to find different kinds of wood, different stocks of wood, and just try to compile them using his technique. People would expect this table to be an art installation itself, and the art installations themselves are pretty much something that you do not interact with. But this one comes with a surprise. It would be not only operated and hosted by our students that will give you the human touch, but they will also encourage you just to interact using these voice sensors. And when you go, "Dzień dobry," you would see the whole installation just lighting up. And the whole idea behind it is just to make all those mics, all those sensors being used by different kinds of guests, standing right next to each and every part of the table. And by saying "Dzień dobry" or "welcome" in Polish or whichever other language you would like to use, this will just give you the proper interaction perception, and this will light up the table as a common goal, I would say, trying to light it up as a general, as a whole, light up the tower, and then the light would go up straight from the tower, beaming up to the kinetic sculpture right above the table.